Thanksgiving is undeniably one of the best holidays that we have here in the US, and it is just such a feast of flavors that I think it makes choosing of wine pairings both exciting and a little bit challenging. So I think the key to success here when pairing Thanksgiving dishes with wine is really selecting wine that's versatile, that can accompany different dishes of different tastes and styles, so to say. So in this video, let's take a look at a couple of perfect pairings for your Thanksgiving dinner. I have in the past filmed a video which was called Best Thanksgiving Wine, so please check out that video. It's available on my channel. I'll also link it down below for y'all. This time around, I decided to use a different approach. What I'm going to do is actually dissect our Thanksgiving table and tell you which wines do I think, in my opinion, go best with that specific dish. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that you have to stack your table with 20 different bottles of wine. So this is just for fun. You pick and choose which wines you want to go with, which foods will be on your Thanksgiving table this year, and kind of go from there. Let's start with the obvious, and those are your appetizers. So whether it's a charcuterie board or just some cheeses that you cut up with crackers for, when the guests are arriving, definitely go for some sparkling wine and save your champagne for New Year's Eve. Please don't break out your expensive bottles of champagne for Thanksgiving. Go for cremants. Go for cavas, go for proseccos. Those are wonderful sparkling wines, so definitely try those. But what bubbly does is essentially cleanses our palate for heavier foods to come. So I think it's refreshing. It goes perfectly well with creamy cheeses and crackers. Perfect combination, and what a great start of a celebration dinner. Let's go straight into turkey now. So if the bird is served at your table, go ahead and try this year. Stay away from full-bodied red wines to go with turkey specifically, and go for something a tad lighter like Pinot Noir or even Chardonnay. And the reason why I'm making these two suggestions is because Pinot Noir is light-bodied and it's got red fruit flavors to it, earthy notes, which match perfectly well with turkey and stuffing too. And Chardonnay, especially lightly oaked Chardonnay, complements the bird's flavors without actually overwhelming it. So definitely give that a go. Do y'all love stuffing just as much as I do? Because I sure do love some stuffing on my Thanksgiving plate. So what do we actually pair stuffing and gravy with? So here again, let's go a little bit different and pair our stuffing and gravy with either Sauvignon Blanc or Zinfandel. Why, you ask? Why those two? Well, here you go. Sauvignon Blanc is very herbal, so especially if you're having herb stuffing, which most of us do, we put a lot of herbs in it. Sauvignon Blanc will go perfectly with it because it matches so good with sage and thyme and some other stuffing herbs that we use for it. And now Zinfandel, on the other hand, is medium-bodied, so it's not going to be very overwhelming, but it itself, Zinfandel on its own, has a bit of spice to it, and I think that it's actually ideal for rich gravies. So Zinfandel and Sauvignon Blanc for the win for our stuffing and gravy. Sweet potatoes. There's so many amazing dishes that can be made with sweet potatoes for a Thanksgiving table. And what do we actually pair those with? So whether you're having a sweet potato casserole or sweet potato pie, or maybe just a mash of sweet potatoes, go for either Viognier or light Riesling. And not just any light Riesling, but actually slightly sweet light Riesling. So I really think that it balances the sweetness without overpowering our sweet potatoes. So give that a go. And then Viognier, so that's a beautiful aromatic wine that I love so much. It's rich. It's got stone fruit flavors to it that work really well with the sweetness of the dish with your sweet potatoes. So Viognier and light, slightly sweet Riesling for the win with those sweet potatoes. I think a bigger dilemma than a wine pairing for cranberry sauce is whether to make it from scratch or actually get the canned cranberry sauce. I'm kind of 50-50. My whole life I've been eating the canned cranberry sauce and I love it. I think it's just perfect, especially if you add a couple of things to it and mix it all up. But I've also made my own cranberry sauce in the past and it turned out to be honestly just as amazing, if not better, a couple of years. So what do we pair with cranberry sauce? So here I am calling for either rosé or Beaujolais Nouveau. So those two pairings, in my opinion, will go great with your cranberry sauce, whether you put it on your stuffing or your turkey, and here's why. So Beaujolais Nouveau specifically is a fruity red wine. It's got just enough acidity to handle the tartness of cranberries, so I think it's going to be a perfect pairing. Now rosé, on the other hand, is crisp and light, and it's got enough fruit to actually match the cranberries. So those two combos right there, rosé or Beaujolais Nouveau, will be a perfect pairing for your cranberry sauce or any dishes that you pair with that cranberry sauce. Arguably the best dish on your Thanksgiving table is mashed potatoes, hands down. Now, not sweet potato mash, but the proper mashed potatoes with gravy, perhaps. So what do we pair with those? And here I'm suggesting for you to go a little bit heavier. So pair your mashed potatoes and gravy with either Merlot or Chardonnay. Why do we pair our mashed potatoes and gravy with those two? Glad you asked. Our Merlot, it's got pretty smooth tannins. It's got rich fruit flavors, but smooth tannins. And I think that those two really complement creamy mashed potatoes super, super well. Now, Chardonnay, on the other hand, is already creamy. It's buttery. I think it can actually enhance that richness and butterness of the mashed potatoes as well. So Chardonnay and Merlot for the win with your mashed potatoes and gravy. Green bean casserole is one of my signature dishes for a Thanksgiving table, and I've been making it now for many, many years. I've perfected my recipe. I use fresh green beans that I boil and then put into my casserole, not the canned type, which no problem with the canned type, by the way. I love all sorts of green bean casseroles, but I really think that I've perfected my recipe so well through the years that it's just chef's kiss. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's so delicious. So I always bring it to a Thanksgiving dinner if I attend one outside of my house. What do we actually pair with our green bean casserole? So here I suggest for you to go with either Chenin Blanc or Pinot Grigio. So let's start with Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio is definitely super crisp, so I think it pairs well with the creamy mushroom sauce. As you know, you put the cream of mushroom soup into a green bean casserole, or at least the traditional recipe calls for that. So Pinot Grigio will go great with that. And Chenin Blanc, on the other hand, I think for the same reason, to kind of counterbalance that cream of mushroom soup a little bit, has a lot of acidity to it. It's going to really balance it out and kind of break through it with that freshness a little bit better. So Chenin Blanc and Pinot Grigio for the win with our green bean casseroles. Even if my life depended on it, I don't think I could possibly pick just one favorite dessert from the Thanksgiving table. There's pecan pie, there's pumpkin pie, there's so many delightful, beautiful, delicious desserts out there that we can serve for Thanksgiving. But I think for the sake of this video, let's go with the most popular one, or at least allegedly so, the most popular one, which is pumpkin pie. So what do we drink when we eat our dessert of a pumpkin pie? I could tell you just go get some sherry wine, but why? Why not to go crazier with this? Let's go heavier. Let's go sweeter with our wine pairing for pumpkin pie. Go with one of these two, either a tawny port or a late harvest Gewürztraminer. And I'll explain why the late harvest one in just a second here. But let's start with our tawny port and pumpkin pie. Why is that a match made in heaven? So tawny ports are nutty. They've got caramel flavors. They're such a great match for the spices that are in a pumpkin pie. So absolute perfect pairing in my opinion. Now Gewürztraminer, on the other hand, the late harvest version of it is going to be sweet. That's why we want the late harvest one, a sweet version of Gewürztraminer. We'll have the spice notes that will definitely complement the pumpkin pie's cinnamon and nutmeg flavors as well. So I think that's a very unusual yet amazing combo that you need to try. Guys, if you've made it this far in the video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. My Wine Diary is all about wine education, wine tastings, fun pairings, and all the wine topics in general. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. But I hope that you really enjoyed this one. This one was a little bit different. I think that whether you're hosting a Thanksgiving dinner this year or you're attending one somewhere else, you can really surprise the guests with some interesting wine pairings, and definitely explore and have fun with it. Thanksgiving is known for being the food feast, but wine complements food. And I think that together, those two make this holiday so much better. So definitely try a few. If you have a perfect Thanksgiving wine that you always have on your Thanksgiving table, make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know which one that is. And until next time, cheers everyone.